Cytonn Money Market Fund is giving Etica Money Market Fund the run for the money, as I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to do a comprehensive review about Cytonn Money Market Fund, and we're going to do a brief explanation on the scandal they had and whether it has an impact on the money market fund, and finally compare it with Etica Money Market Fund so that you can know which of these money market fund is suitable for you. And let's get started. So Cytonn Asset Managers Limited is the licensed fund manager behind the Cytonn Money Market Fund, and it is regulated affiliate of Cytonn Investment Management PLC, registered with the Capital Market Authority and also the Retirement Benefit Authority. So the Cytonn Asset Managers Limited was incorporated in August 2016 and began its operation in May 2018 following the acquisition of the Riani Money Market Fund, which became the current Cytonn Money Market Fund. So they acquired the Riani Money Market Fund in 2017, and that is the reason why when you check out their fact sheet, you will see that the date of inception was on November 2017. That is the period in which they acquired the Riani Money Market Fund, and they changed the name to Cytonn Money Market Fund. And this Cytonn Investment Management PLC is the umbrella under which Cytonn Asset Managers Limited is, and it was formed in 2014 by 4 senior executives from Britain, namely Edwin Dande as the CEO, Chief Arora as the former CFO, Patricia Wanjama as legal, and also Elizabeth Gungu as the CIO. And let's now do a brief review of the scandal they had, which really impacted some of the investors, and see whether it affected the Cytonn Money Market Fund. So the Cytonn controversy stemmed from its unregulated products, that is the Cytonn High Yield Solution and also Project Notes. So this investment scheme measured on real estate, and they were not under the capital market oversight. And they defaulted on payment totaling to around 13.5 billion Kenya shillings. And this was because they had a problem in development and liquidating of the real estate investment they had made. One of the things you should note is that the Cytonn Money Market Fund is separate from these two investment schemes that defaulted, and also Cytonn Money Market Fund is regulated by the Capital Market Authority, unlike the other two investment schemes that defaulted. And on March 2024, the Capital Market Authority Tribunal judgment addressed procedural issues with the Cytonn Asset Managers Limited, and those procedural issues did not affect clients' investment in the Cytonn Money Market Fund. So there is a great difference from the investment schemes that defaulted from the Cytonn Money Market Fund. So Cytonn Money Market Fund is regulated and it is currently doing well. This is a caution that you need to take. Always check the regulatory status and the asset composition of any collective investment scheme. So if you are investing in real estate, make sure that you are investing in a collective scheme that is regulated, and also know that investing in things like real estate has more risk compared to money market fund. So with the Cytonn Money Market Fund, the components are like government securities like fixed deposit, cash holding, which makes the risk profile of this money market fund low compared to the other scheme that defaulted. And let's now compare the performance of Cytonn Money Market Fund for the last 7 months, that is the first half of 2025, including July. And we're going to compare its performance with that of Etica Money Market Fund, because both of these money market funds have US dollar dominated money market fund and also the Kenya shillings dominated money market fund. We're going to start with the Kenya shillings dominated money market fund. And from January to July, we can see that Cytonn Money Market Fund is performing well compared to Etica. As you can see, for January, it was 16.6%, while that for Etica was 15.7%. Heading towards the US dollar dominated money market fund, we can see that we have mixed results between the Cytonn MMF and also Etica MMF. Cytonn was leading up to May, but after May, the Etica US dollar dominated money market fund is doing better. Let's now see the reason why there is a drop in this money market fund rate of return, especially in the Kenya shillings dominated money market fund. And the reason is because of falling treasury bill rates. As you know, money market fund invest heavily in treasury bill, and as the central banks lowers the benchmark interest rate, yields of these treasury bills, which is the core assets in MMF, also decrease. And since MMFs invest heavily in treasury bills, Lower yields in these treasury bills reduce the performance of this MMF. Another reason why these MMF rates are falling is because of monetary policy adjustment. So the CPK's policy easing to stimulate the economy also indirectly compress short-term yields in this money market fund. Finally, another reason is because of microeconomic stabilization, that is reduced inflation, and also borrowers' demand may have led to softer yields across money market instruments. Before we go into the requirements for you to get started with Cytonn Money Market Fund in comparison with Etica, you should note that the US dollar dominated money market fund in Cytonn is currently performing below the benchmark, and for good returns, it should be performing above the benchmark. So you should take note of that before you invest in the US dominated money market fund. Same case to Etica, you should consider checking whether they are performing below or above their benchmark percentage. And let's now go into comparing the requirements for you to get started with this money market fund. So we'll start with Cytonn, and for Cytonn Kenya shilling dominated money market fund, the minimum investment is 1,000 Kenya shillings and minimum top up is 100 shillings. For Etica, the minimum investment is 100 shillings, and you can see it is much cheaper to get started with Etica. And in terms of performance, Cytonn Money Market is doing well, and the minimum investment is 1,000 Kenya shillings, and after that, you can top up with 100 shillings. Coming to the US dollar dominated money market fund, for the Cytonn Money Market Fund, you need a minimum investment of 1,000 US dollars, which is 10 times higher than the US dollar dominated Etica Money Market Fund, which currently has a minimum investment of 100 US dollars. And the minimum top up for Etica is currently 50 US dollars, but you can confirm that. I'm not sure about that. And that for Cytonn Money Market Fund, after making the initial investment of 1,000 US dollars, the minimum top up is 10 US dollars. And that's all I had to share with you about Cytonn Money Market Fund, comparing it with Etica Money Market Fund. Now you can tell which of these money market fund you can invest in. And before you invest in either of these, make sure that you seek financial advice from your financial advisor, and also do more research pertaining the assets under which these money market funds invest in, so that you cannot fall into issues such as default in payment and also unregulated collective investment scheme. And let me see you in my next video, and consider also sharing this with your friends so that they can learn about Cytonn Money Market Fund.